Hello and welcome back to another video. So something a little bit different today and something I haven't done for quite a few years, well it's quite a few decades in fact, and it's tinker around with vintage PCs. Now the story behind this is where at work we have quite a lot of refuse bins, we have general waste, we have scrap metal, we have electronics sort of thing. The electronics normally get thrown in with the scrap metal. So anyway, like always, I like to scan the bins now and then, and I went bin diving in the scrap metal one, only to find two of these two beauties in the bin. Now one is a Pentium 4 and one is a, I'm assuming, a 286, 386 or 486. It's got a turbo button on it, and you know what that means, it's really old. So when I got them out the bin, I was all excited, I thought happy days, you know what I mean, two PCs here for projects. On closer inspection they had no hard drives. Now I ended up speaking to the person who threw them in the bin a few days after, and he said the hard drives are still in the bin. He said I've smashed them. I was like, you what? So yeah, so what have we covered out the bin? Now this is out the 486 whatever it is, and it's that, the friggin' size of that. There's the top of the case there, and the inside, well beyond repair, well beyond repair. Same story with the Pentium 4, there's nothing in there, so hard drives non-existent in both of them. I do have the keyboard for this really old one. As you can see, it is a tad grubby, because in this bin you do get things like oil thrown in it and stuff like that, so you know it's just full of crap basically, so you just gotta, you know, clean up whatever you get out there. It's got this connector on as well, which is, it's not PS2, is it ATX? I'm not sure. Yeah, so anyway, keyboard, don't know if it works. Oh, put that there for a minute. Right, so I've powered both of them on. The Pentium 4 one does not power on. This little baby does power on and gives a long beep. I think it's because of the operating system or stuff like that. So I'm assuming this one, it's by Cybermax, the Pentium 4 one. I'm assuming it's the power supply. Now I've managed to source a power supply from another computer I had, which is somewhere on the floor, which is here, out of an old Dell, and this is like sort of like early 2000s, this one, so as far as I know it's had very little use. So in today's video, this is going to be part one. I'm going to show you them outside because in this light in here, and I haven't got enough room to sort of properly showcase them. So what I'll do is I'll take them in the garden. I think it's due rain in a minute, but we'll just take a chance anyway. And I'll show you around the systems. So as I say, this is a part one. There's going to be part two on this one and then part three on this one. At the moment, the one I'm sort of mainly focused on is this really old one here. So as you can see, and I don't know how well you can see that with that light, but it is very yellow. So there's going to be a possibility of a retro bright treatment on both of them. And then the case is a little bit battered because the case, the fellow who threw them away said I just ripped the case off. I couldn't get the case off. It's a little bit bent out of shape, it's got a few dings in it and stuff like that. But I do know a sheet metal worker who could probably straighten it out. I'll possibly, I don't know, paint it, try and get the paint the same colour. If not, just sort of leave it as it is. But as long as I can get this one up and running, I'll be well happy. I mean this one as well, this one's got a DVD. Remember the rewriters? CD rewriter, 16, 22 and 40. Has got a DVD player on as well. This one has just got a 24 times CD-ROM. So, and what's it say on the front of that one? There's no name on the front of that. It just says Energy, whatever it used to get on the BIOS when it loaded up. And this one is Windows XP, Intel inside, Pentium 4. So this one's a bit cracked as well. So just before we go into the garden, what I'll do is I will power this one on and I'll connect the monitor. As I say, I've powered it on in work and it gives a long sort of beeping noise. I'm assuming it's looking for the operating system. So I'm going to connect the monitor to it and I'm going to see what we get on the screen As I say, this one sadly will not power on. What I'll do is I'll probably connect the new power supply to it and see if it comes on. If it doesn't come on then, well, we're a bit buggered, aren't we? So yeah. So we'll get this one on first and we'll see you in the garden. Righty ho, so we're connected up. It's saying cable not connected on that. There we go. It's not making that beeping sound, it was in work. Right, we're not getting anything, I don't think. Let's have a look, has it gone into standby mode, the monitor? So it's saying cable not connected, and clearly there's one connected. Right, we're getting cable not connected when it clearly is. It's definitely connected. So my only other option is I've got a projector which also takes VGA. So we're going to try that one. Right, so this is the graphics card right here, and I don't know if there's a problem with it, but we're not getting any signal on the projector or the monitor. So I'm assuming the problem lies in here somewhere, which will require further investigation. But yeah, very, very dusty and dirty, as you can see. Right, so this is the one that actually powers on. Have a quick look around the front. As we can see, a 24 times CD-ROM, EPA pollution preventer, reset, turbo and power button, and floppy drive. I'm assuming it had a badge there at one point. It's probably come off. As you can see, fully yellowed. Here's the keyboard, a bit closer up. Very, very grubby and grimy indeed. Also looking a little bit yellow underneath. Mitsumi. So when that was powered on before, I didn't get any sort of lights here. So although the beeps actually stopped, there was no lights that came on after I pressed caps lock. Yeah, no lights unfortunately came on. Now, as I say, in the bin was also the hard drive. A massive Quantum Bigfoot 5.25 inch series. A damn bloody shame. Yeah, well beyond repair, as you can see. What a bloody shame. As you can see there, just the board's been bent, the pins are bent. That's the main thing, that's knackered. Completely beyond repair. Right, so just a look at the back of the system. Power supply and fan. Some connectors. What are they for? I can't remember off the top of my head what they're for. There's your keyboard connector there. That's your video out. Sound, yeah, sound card. Is it sound card? Yeah, sound card. And underneath is a modem. I haven't seen one of those for years. There's your floppy disk just there. And here's a look at the main board. So what I'll probably do is I'll probably take these out and have a closer look at that one, see what that is. So you've got, did I say creative? Yeah. I think is that a sound blaster? Hang on, what's that there? Oh, is that? Yeah, look at that. There we go. Sound blaster, AWE 64. That's quite interesting. There's your tiny processor there. A chip there by Acer. Some memory Up top there, what else we got here? Some more expansion slots, various cables, power connector. So it's been quite a few years since I've dealt with PCs like this, so I am a little out of touch. What's this one down here? Burning 24 hour. Oh, it's the BIOS. Is that the BIOS chip? I think so. Yeah, we've got some Acer chips as well. So nice, we've got a sound blaster. And I'll take this graphics card out in a minute and I'll actually have a look what it is. So yeah, so that was a look around. There's the top there. Cyber drive. Any date on that? Oh yeah, there we go. Manufacture date is December of 1997. So it gives you a bit of an idea of sort of what era it's from. So yeah, I say this is the one that powers up, and unfortunately I have no graphical output, so maybe this is knackered, that's what I'm assuming. But don't these boards have onboard graphics as well? So you should hold, let me see, I don't know if that's an output. You should have an output for a monitor, maybe not, I don't know. So I'm going to take this graphics card out and see what it is. Right, okay, so I've took the graphics card out. I'm just trying to find the name of who it's by. So obviously removal of this voids any warranty, so that's buggered for that one. Expired date is the 7th 99, so it's pretty old. Right, we have S3 Verge DX on board. I'm assuming this is all a memory. I'll say I'm not an expert on these kind of things, but you know, looks fairly clean, although the computer is quite dusty itself. So yeah, it's some further investigation. I don't know where I'm going to start with it. Yeah, I don't know. It could be something here's gone. It could be one of these tiny are these resistors or what have you. I was actually hoping to see like caps on there, but there's not. Can't even replace the caps. And there's the look at the front of it as well, closer up. So yeah, work in progress for that one. What I'll do now is I'll get this sound blaster out and I'll show you what it's like. Right, here is the sound blaster. There's an AWE Creative. Quite a lot of small caps on there, quite a few big ones. Let me see what it says underneath. So, trade name Creative Labs, blah 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 blah, model number CT4520. There's the back of it. Very dirty, very dirty indeed. So that was dated in 1997 as well. There we go, there's the Sound Blaster AWE 64. Cool to see that actually. There's not much else to show you on this apart from the modem, but you don't really want to see that because, yeah, who uses these anymore? Right, okay, so it's on to the Pentium 4. Right, so this is a look inside the Pentium 4. Just before we go any further, here's a closer look at the front. So 16, 12 and 40 times CD rewriter. That is actually not missing, it's actually fell down there, so I can use that to put back there. Power switch, CyberMax branding, floppy disk, Pentium 4 and Windows XP. There's your various lights there, reset, hard drive and power on. And you've got two USBs at the front. Round the back, pretty standard. Power on off switch. Oh, you've got a PS2 connector for the mouse and keyboard, and you've got your VGA out, and then various other sorts of sound and printer and whatnot. And there's your Ethernet cable at the back there. So it's let's see what it did have on it. Windows XP Home Edition. It's CyberMax branding. power supply, which I don't know if it works or not, because I've just actually changed the power supply over and it still didn't boot up. So I checked these connectors here, the power switch connector, so that goes to your power switch up there. Could be the switch knackered, I don't know, something on the board could be stopping it from turning on. Right, okay, so there's your Pentium 4. Here is your graphics card, which we're going to take out and have a closer look in a minute. Onboard sound, is it? Yep, onboard sound. Yeah, there we go. Onboard sound there. And you've got your boring sort of modem. There's the BIOS chip just there. You got this cable. We've actually got quite a few cables hanging down. I think some have been just ripped out. So looking around, let me see what I can see. Anything sort of significant that's going to stick out. There's your memory there. One stick of memory. I don't know who the board's by. MS6534V-ER1. There's no actual branding on the board. What's this here? Is this your, what's that there? Intel chip. Let's get this out of the way. Is that for the onboard sound? Maybe, I don't know. Just a guess. There's your 2 CDs, DVD, and floppy drive. So, yeah, not much else to say about that other than we'll take this graphics card out and we'll have a closer look at what it is basically. Right, so on removal of the graphics card, I can see it is an NVIDIA GeForce 400 2MX, and it looks like the heatsink has actually fell off that one. Now, if I remember rightly, is that an AGP port? I have to say I've been completely out of touch with these things for years, so I think that is a advanced graphics port, is it, or whatever? I don't know, I can't remember now. I seem to remember back in the day just having, I think it was ISA slots, which are these here, and this is your dedicated graphics slot at a later date. So let's have a look at what we've got here. Okay, so AGP, yeah, it is AGP. NVIDIA, any date on it? It's a shame actually, because I could have put that in the other one, but unfortunately the port is non-compatible. There's nothing really to say what it is. There's the connectors. You got your super video out, S video out, AV out, and obviously your VGA. And then a little look around, closer look around the board. Is this your RAM, I'm assuming? Here's the NVIDIA branding. Yeah, so until I can get this one working, I don't know if this is going to work. So yeah, so that's a look around the Pentium 4 one. What I'll do now is I'll show you the cases and the state they're in. Right, so this is the first one, which I'm assuming is the 386. Now, as you can see, it is sort of slightly bent out of shape. This will all come off. It's got a few scratches on it and stuff like that. The top of it is also heavily scuffed. So I'm assuming, I can get that straight. It's got a little bend there, as you can see, so that's not a problem. And then when I clean it all up, if it's still looking a bit shabby, I can possibly get some paint that matches that colour and give it a good old spray. So yeah, that's the first case. Right, so when I say the second case, this is just the side bit off it. So it's all grubbied up, scuffed up, bit of rust on it I think on the inside. There's some shite from the bin, as I say, oil and all that crap and thing you'll get through in that bin. So yeah, that's not a problem probably. I mean, if you look down here, there's a slight crack as well in that one, so I don't know if I can sort of push that together and sort of, probably can actually. I mean, these things pop off, the front of these pop off like so. Yeah, so that was a look around these two vintage PCs. Hopefully I can get them all up and running and restored. Right, so there you have it, a little look around those two vintage PCs, and what a bloody find. You know, I was just amazed when I seen them. I thought, wow, I cannot leave them, I can't let them go to landfill or whatever. I have got to get these PCs and try and get them up and running again. So, phase one out the way. I've sort of showed you around the machines and I've showed you the problems. If anyone out there does know exactly, you know, what could be wrong with them, or is that a 486, a 286 or 386, I don't know. Like I say, I have been completely out the game for a good 20 odd years. So yeah, it's one of those, it's work in progress. This was part one. Part two is going to be on the 486 one. And part three, hopefully, is going to be on the Pentium 4. So I've tried the power supply. The power supply, it does work. It's not power enough for some reason, so I'm going to have to do further testing. Now, I do have a couple of friends who are electricians and sparks, and they're going to help me along this journey. Phil, if you're watching, unfortunately mate, you're one of those, so you're going to help me get one of these or two of them up and running again. So in terms of channel content, I'm still in the Amiga scene. I have just been enjoying my latest console, which is right here. I am a massive Microsoft fanboy as well as an Amiga fanboy. I bought myself a Series X a few weeks ago and I am absolutely fucking loving it. What have we got? Cyberpunk 2077, oh, what a game. Being patched now, all updated, it runs beautifully. Battlefield 2042, it runs quite well on the Xbox One, but it runs phenomenally well now on the Xbox Series X. I have also got Flight Simulator. Jesus Christ. I'm not going to say game because it's not a game, it's a simulator. Obviously, it's not as good as a high-end PC, but I'm happy with it, and it's just... The live traffic in there is just absolutely phenomenal. So I am still well and truly in the Amiga scene. I've got quite a lot of videos coming up regarding Amiga stuff, and some news on what I've done with some Amigas I've had as well, and just a change to the sort of channel direction, and sort of in terms of my collection and stuff like that. So stay tuned for further videos on them. Cheers for watching as always, and I'll catch you in the next video.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name?
Chewie.